Throughout the course of our 10news.com series, we've looked at the many angles involved in this complex issue of whether internet poker should be legalized in California. The reasons for, the reasons against, whether it's safe, who will be the major players. Getting everyone on the same page will be tough, but most people feel it will eventually get passed.
We already have regulated online gaming in the U.S. We just don't have it in what we would consider like a progressive state like California. And I think it's a no-brainer that it will happen. It's just a question of when.
That's poker superstar Daniel Negreanu. The thing is that when he talked about could be as early as next year, or it could be years down the line. Industry expert Chops Price says so far the tribes saying no have been effective.
They have absolutely been more unified. They've spent better, smarter dollars. And they've thrown up all the effective roadblocks they've needed to keep this from happening.
Soon there may be some pressure coming from outside the state. One of the biggest supporters of legalizing online poker in California is the world's biggest poker website, PokerStars. Daniel Negreanu is one of their spokesmen. They recently estimated they have about 71% of the online players in the world playing on their site. Well, PokerStars just got certified to launch a website in New Jersey. One Sacramento insider told me they're watching very closely to see if that brings more enthusiasm for online poker in that state, and if it brings in a lot more money. The insider also told me there's another big factor, and that's the fact that another state seems about ready to make the leap on legalization, Pennsylvania. California Assembly member Adam Gray is the one writing the bill trying to get poker passed. He told me he plans to hold more hearings early next year, after he holds similar hearings on daily fantasy sports.
I'm optimistic that something could get done next year. There's a lot of moving parts, as there always is in public policy making, but we made some progress this year. We've had a lot of great discussions.
In the meantime, the tribes are continuing to negotiate, as is Del Mar.
We will continue to have those discussions. The Capitol will continue to have those discussions with the tribes that agree with us and also the tribes that don't, that hopefully we can build consensus and we can come up with legislation that is fair for everyone.
Poker star Maria Ho says it will come down to getting public support.
We can clamor all we want and say anything we want, but if we're not going out there and trying to do some of the work ourselves, it has to be a grassroots movement to a certain degree. So everybody just needs to get out there.
And we'll give the final word to poker's biggest star, Daniel Negreanu.
And this isn't a moral issue. I don't think that anyone's really even arguing that this is a question of whether it's moral or not to allow online poker. I don't think anyone's doing it. It just comes down to essentially dollars and cents and what makes the most sense for the tribes and for the state.
If it really is just a matter of when, well, millions of poker-playing Californians are simply left waiting while that gridlock continues. Jeff Lasky, 10news.com.